this time I am making the third episode of the series of creating Winx characters in The Sims 3. This time I'm making Countess, Cassandra, and Chimera. So I'm starting off with Cassandra here. I have chosen to make her an adult, and the idea would be to make Chimera a young adult, such that she matches the rest of the age of the Winx characters, which I will be putting up soon. So as once again, the main problem I had with, well, not the main, but one of the biggest ones that I had with The Sims 3 was the hair. So for Cassandra, she has this really elaborate hairstyle in the series that kind of flows backwards and is tied behind her back, it has a very big shape and makes a braid behind her. But obviously, there's nothing anywhere near that on The Sims 3. So what I decided to go for was this short hairstyle, although she doesn't have short hair, just so that it can capture a bit of like the swoopiness, like the middle parting and the like volume on the side of the face a bit. The face, I think Cassandra in the series has very exaggerated cheekbones and very sharp chin, so I'm trying to match that on The Sims 3 as well. I think the cheekbones are a very characteristic part of her face right now. I'm still giving her like the very arched eyebrows, obviously because she's a villain in the series as well, so it needs to be even more exaggerated, because every single character I've created so far has high arch eyebrows to match with a cartoon depiction of themselves. But for her specifically, they need to be channeling a bit more of, a bit more of an evil vibe. And then definitely like her eyes, they have an interesting shape in comparison to the rest of the Winx characters, because they have like this diamond shape. They're not like the big fish eye sort of eyes that every other character has. She has this diamond shape. I tried to translate that a bit onto her character as well here. Her nose in the series is quite upturned, which I think is basically what she has mostly in common with Chimera. So I tried to give her like a semi upturned nose. But what I also think both of them have more exaggerated than the other Winx characters is their lips. They have a much fuller lip shape in comparison to other characters. So I wanted that to be distinct for her as well. Then I'm trying to match a bit of her makeup, because she has this like light yellow eyeshadow and this orangish shade of lipstick. So like this coral shape, orange shade. So I think it works quite well for her Sims character here as well. The color palette, I mean. She looks a bit angry, but I think this is what we're trying to go for here. So in terms of her clothes, obviously there's nothing as Solarian. The Solarian attire that they have in the series would be impossible to find. And again, I'm working with the assumption here that, okay, these are the clothes that we have on The Sims 3, and the characters would exist in the Sims universe. So they would just kind of have to wear whatever's available to them. So I kind of picked this long dress, and I'm trying to match her palette with the series, because I guess that's what's going to be the most characteristic, like the easiest way to tell the Sims apart would be from like their color palette and the general aesthetic that they're going for. So because obviously she's a countess, so she's not part of the royal family yet, but obviously she wants to be in the series. So I wanted to give her something quite classy and quite, like a very well put together dress. And I gave her the green necklace, because I think she has some green jewelry details on her in the series, and of course the gloves. The whole thing somehow semi weirdly works together, the whole outfit, although I am very surprised at that, because I would not expect it to be the case. Then I'm going for her formal outfit, and in this case I'm basing it off of this the dress she's wearing, basically I think when she's trying to get married to Radius, I think is what it is. So obviously it's not the same shape, but it has kind of like the corset-y vibe to it. Then this dress came with that like necklace choker thing on The Sims 3, like the black thing, and couldn't get rid of it, so I just decided to stick with it because I don't know, maybe would be giving Valdor's mark or something. It has a bit of a darker vibe to it in comparison to everything else. And then the rest of the outfits, like the sports and the pajamas, they don't matter at all for her. I give her this very like 2000s looking um, sportswear. Yeah, and the swimwear really doesn't matter. I went a bit back and forth on which one from the Sims she would wear, but I decided to go with something simpler, just closer to her color palette. Um, then, in terms of her traits, I tried to, like, I made her ambitious, born saleswoman, and charismatic because essentially she wants to be royalty. She wants to be the Queen of Soleria. So she definitely has that ambition, and she's trying to sell herself in a way such that, like, she's trying to convince Radius. She's trying to sell this story that she's worthy um, of being the Queen of Soleria. So, and because she almost gets there, she definitely is charismatic, and because of her position, obviously, as a countess and everything we see her do in the series. And snob, of course, because, well, she doesn't really like anyone else. I don't know. She's, yeah, very high and mighty, I guess. In terms of her lifetime wish, I try to channel again the same need to become royalty. So I gave her swimming and cash. And the rest of the personality traits don't 100% matter, but I gave her what I thought would be more matching for her. So I think overall it's not a bad job. I think definitely her facial features would be what I would expect Cassandra to look like in The Sims, or as a human being, you know. And then I tried to make Chimera. So I made her a young adult. I gave her like this really, really pale skin color because that's what she has, and we need to go for like the gothic Lolita aesthetic that she has during the series, which is definitely very distinct for her, and which kind of like there exist items for that in The Sims 3. They definitely have the gothic aesthetic to them. So I decided to give her a very round face shape because I think in comparison to most Winx characters, she has a somehow bigger face or rounder face. Like I thought that her interpretation as a human being would have like fuller cheeks, yeah, and a round face shape. So the hair, I ideally I would have wanted it to be longer, but it's got the very sleek vibe to it, the very straight hair, the bangs and everything. So I think it translates okay here. Ideally longer, but what we have is not too bad for what Chimera's meant to look like. I want to give her quite big eyes because I think it would look well. It would look good with her facial features. And the eyebrows, obviously, because in the series you can see that she has a very exaggerated eyebrows again. I tried to do that, but the bangs were just in the way, so it's very difficult to see it. And she has a very small up to her nose, I think, in the series, so I tried to give her that, like give her a very French nose, very small nose. So I think that works well with her character. I think like her facial features just really, really work on The Sims 3. I think she translates very well as a character. Yeah, so I tried. Then I think she has this little mark under her eye, like the beauty mark. So that was great to see that I was able to translate that directly on The Sims 3. And I think in comparison to other Winx characters, she also has a very, like, she has much more full lips. So I tried to match that for her as well. But I also tried to give her, like, a little pout. Like, because you can see on the Sims facial expression, I didn't want her to look a bit happy. I wanted her to look kind of bratty, you know, the vibe that she goes for in the series. So, and then a little bit of eyeshadow to match the rest of her aesthetic, just very lightly there in the background, and the eyeliner to make her look even edgier and even more moody, and you know. So, and of course the lipstick, because it is so characteristic of her. The whole face makeup looks very iconic on the character on The Sims 3 as well. So I think this is a very good job. And then I went back to the eyebrows a bit, just to make sure that it really channels, you know, the haughty expression that she has, like the I am above you expression, you know. So, yeah. Then in terms of clothes, the everyday clothes, they did not really work for her. I tried to have something that matches, you know, the everyday outfit that we see her in, but nothing really was as layered, as complex. So I decided to just give her something like this, just because as an overall shape, it would look like something which I could give enough colors to make it match. The shoes were quite good. I think this is definitely something that I would imagine her to be wearing in the series. Um, Although, yeah, the her outfit definitely has a more everyday modern vibe rather than a Lolita vibe, but that's just because the everyday outfits on The Sims did not have anything a bit classier in a way. So that was highly unfortunate, but at least I could give her a choker. I Everything is layered so much in this outfit. It's a bit of a mess, but it also kind of weirdly works together, I think, as a Sims character. I don't think it would translate anywhere near good in real life, but somehow we're gonna stick with this because I really don't know what else to do. The formal outfit is much closer to what she has in the actual series. Um, so the Sims have this like poofy, very like nice like party dress with a rose, and I think that could match a bit better both with her color palette and with the aesthetic that she has in the series. So I think right now this outfit looks like she would wear it, I believe. The sleeping outfit, I matched it with just this specific instance we see of her. We just see her once in pajamas in the series, and that's it. The sportswear really doesn't matter. And then the swimwear, I decided to match it with the red dress that she fights with Stella over, just because I knew this specific swimwear exists in The Sims 3, and it's so close to what Chimera wears in the series, like her red dress. So I just had to go for this because I think it just matches so well with what we see her wear for the ball. So her traits, I tried to like make her like the little bit of a grumpy, moody vibe. You know, she definitely is mean spirited, unfortunately, and like I think the neat imperfectionists come like from her, you know, her upbringing, and star quality. I gave her this because she definitely fights to be the Princess of Celeria, and she has the news believe that she's the Princess of Celeria, so she definitely wants that and can do that. So I think overall this was quite a good match with what we see in the series. I was quite happy, especially with how Chimera turned out. And I think Cassandra's not bad either. Especially like their facial features, they just really look like real people to me. How the characters would match to real people. So I think overall this was a success, but there was a single thing that put me off so much, because I just could not, I'm so sorry, I could not make those two be mother and daughter. There was absolutely no way. I tried so hard, but then I'm pretty sure that's because I thought it was because I gave them different last names, but that didn't do anything. So I'm pretty sure that this is because I made Chimera a young adult and Cassandra an adult. And I think there must be some rule in The Sims that just does not allow them to have kids at that age, I guess. So, and then if I changed either one of them to be older, like I couldn't change Cassandra to be like an elder because that's so old. I couldn't change Chimera to be younger because every other Winx would be her age, so I can't make her a teenager. So I was just kind of stuck. So then I just had to make them like housemates. There was nothing else I could do. I was so devastated by this because if I made anyone a different age, I would lose all my progress. So that's it for now.